So a bit of the same again, mate, but a bit more of a brighter colour.
Yeah, nice looking car, actually.
I bought this one completely sight unseen, off the back of a couple of pictures. I arranged for it to be collected. Of course, it wouldn't fit on the back of my truck.
No.
It come through the day I got home from holiday, and I actually had it dropped here on Sunday night. You must have seen it on your cameras.
Yeah, yeah.
But this is Chris's first time seeing it.
Very clean and straight.
Very, very, very clean, tidy car. Been very well looked after.
There's hardly a mark on it, mate.
No, there's not really any marks on it. A couple of little tiny chins on the wheels, but looks like it's got all nice tyres. HSE, dynamic, so got all the nice bits on it. Very, very bright, and I wasn't actually keen on this colour, but when you're standing here with it, it's actually quite nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it goes well with the black, doesn't it?
So, I guess you want the news, don't you?
We do, don't we?
I bought this car off the back of some pictures and an explanation that he was driving it, it made an awful noise, bit of smoke, he's pulled over, the AA have arrived, catastrophic engine failure. They said they think the turbo, well, they're saying that the turbo's gone, but it ran on its own oil.
Right.
So it's knocked the engine out, hasn't it?
Well,
I don't.
No,
but that's his diagnosis. Anyway, after that, continuing on, he also attached in the email that he took it. He spoke to a couple of garages.
Right.
And the garages have said, open checkbook. The AA said your turbo's gone. It's open checkbook.
Yeah.
2 litre Ingenium. Can't glorify it, not the most reliable engine in the world, but it's normally timing chain.
What's caused that?
Oh, someone's broke it, ain't they?
Looking for shrapnel.
Chris, you know what?
I remember that Ranger, do you, when it went everywhere.
This car, obviously, I got it dropped here like 9:30, 9:45 at night. I haven't even opened the bonnet. I've done nothing to it.
No.
But I don't think anyone's made any kind of diagnosis to it. You can see it just hasn't been touched.
Yeah, well, when they run on their oil, it normally means...
yeah, and if
is all the oil gone?
Chris, I haven't even pulled it, mate. I honestly haven't even dipped it.
Well...
Above the minimum.
Above the minimum?
I don't know.
Well, you know what I'm thinking, don't you?
Go on.
We'll top that oil up.
What, send it?
Got nothing to lose, have we?
The good thing is, if
we put a socket on it, see if it is. Oh, is it manual?
It's
sticker in gear,
that's
Johnny.
what I'm showing you.
Sticker in gear.
The handbrake's going to be on, isn't it?
Ah. Right. We need the keys for
Smart
it.
key not recognised. Oh, they're in my van.
Are they?
Yeah, I'll go get them.
All right. We do that and rock it and see if the engine is seized or not. Because we can sticker in gear, can't we? Do that.
He did say he turned it off, so I don't think it's
seized. So if the engine turns over like that, isn't seized, we top her up with oil.
Run it and have a listen. I guess I've bought it with a knackered engine. We've got nothing to lose, have we?
The absolute worst is it'll run on its own oil again, and we'll have to stall it.
We can stall it because it's a manual, yeah. Yeah, let's do that. Why not? Let me go and grab the keys.
So I know I say it time and time again, always run a car vertical before you purchase a vehicle, but today we really are going to highlight why it is so important for you to do that check before you purchase your vehicle. So this car in particular, the odometer looks good, financial and legal looks good, and the damage looks good. And of course, in green does always mean good, so you can see there that there's no issues with that at all. When you go to odometer on this car, last known mileage was only 38,693. Yes guys, this car has only covered 40,000 miles and unfortunately come across these problems already. So this one does check out all okay, but I'm just going to show you why you need to do this check. So I'm not going to show the chassis number on this one because it actually come through on an email, and the guy offered me this vehicle and he said it's got a few marks around it, but there's no outstanding finance, I've got no loans against it or anything like that. So I half negotiated a deal for this car, and then I quickly run a car vertical, of course, before I did the bank transfer and called on the transport, and you can clearly see there odometer is okay and financial and legal there is an issue. Now you can see there it says beware, this vehicle may have restrictions. And I did pick this up with the guy that was offering me the car, and he said, I assure you there is no outstanding finance. But once you click on there, you can see it had a 48-month lease agreement. On Moneybarn, it gives you the reference number and their contact number. I quickly made a phone call where they told me they still held a financial interest in this vehicle and I shouldn't buy it. So we did decide not to buy that car, and that is a clear example of why you should always use Car Vertical when you're purchasing your vehicle. To benefit from a nice little discount off your check, use the code up on screen now or hit the link in the description where it will automatically apply your discount.
Push with you anyway, can't
Yeah,
I?
all right.
I ain't got to be in here, have we?
No.
Oh, I don't want to start the engine, do I? So, right, 6th gear.
Yeah, any
6th gear,
high
handbrakes
gear.
off.
Right.
Let me come and help you. Yeah, turning.
Yeah, she turns.
Chris is looking, by the way.
Maybe go like 3rd gear or something, and we'll try and...
Chris is actually looking there at the cam, making sure
Yeah.
that's turning around.
Yeah.
3rd gear.
Yeah, stick it in 2nd or 3rd gear, Rob. Yeah, she turns, mate.
I'll show that.
I don't know if you'll see
it's
it.
all
It's
right.
hard to see.
What do you reckon then? Put some oil in it and
I
send
think,
it?
yeah, we'll top her up with oil.
Let's turn that parking
Because it
sensor off.
is,
Sorry,
it is
Chris.
on the,
One
you
sec.
know, it's only on the minimum. It's not
Sorry
burnt
about
it
that.
all off, has it?
No. He did say pull straight over, and I don't think, even though the AA are just relay, aren't they? They don't do engine
If it's been in the
changes, but
garage, though, they'd probably start it up if it runs.
It hasn't made it to a garage.
It didn't make
No,
it?
he said that. He spoke to
Right.
them on the phone, and they've said, open checkbook. And then another garage said, we can fit bits, but is it going to solve it? You're in the same situation, aren't
yeah,
you?
you see their point of view.
You can see their point completely.
Yeah.
I do get that, and it's fair to say, on one of these, I know
Was it Josh told you a while ago when we had, was it a Sport we had?
Discovery Sport, yeah, we done a turbo, didn't we?
It's the DPF blocking that causes
Yeah,
it.
blocks or cracks, 2 common issues with them, and this car is ultra low mileage for its age.
What is the mileage?
40,000.
So it's probably done lots of little journeys.
Loads of little journeys,
It's not
yeah.
done motorway work. Has
No.
it? Block DPF, yeah.
Right, no more waffle. Let's
No.
chuck a bit of oil in there.
Yeah.
Let's give it a go, eh? Got nothing to lose, mate, like you say.
Well, no. It's topped up with oil, mate. Give it a go. Get ready to stall it, I guess.
Where's the keys?
Keys are there,
Here
aren't they?
somewhere, yeah. Ready?
Yeah, go.
Oh.
That don't sound too bad. That don't sound too bad at all.
Got no oil light on.
Bring that round and we...
That actually does sound...
Smells a bit.
Look.
Smells a bit smoky.
Look.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, come round here. Yeah.
That's turbo, isn't it?
So that could be oil in. That will be oil that's in the exhaust.
Exhaust, yeah. Shall I turn that off, Chris? That's quite bad, isn't it?
Stinks, don't it?
It's going to need burning off, but it might run on its own oil again. Shall I
Yeah.
turn it off?
That sounds sweet as a nut,
Let's have another
mate.
little quick listen.
Ain't nothing wrong with that engine.
Hold it there. I'm just going to give it a tiny little
Yeah,
blip.
yeah, yeah.
But if it makes, I might have to stall it to jump out
Yeah.
the way. No, it's missing now. But that engine is not knackered. That don't sound knackered to me. There's no knocking or nothing.
No.
Get your mic, your mic.
Yeah, I was holding
Oh
that
yeah.
near the engine.
Just to pick
Well,
it up. That's put a smile on my face.
Well,
What do you reckon? That smoke
think-
was bad.
I think if
Yeah,
you
stop
look at
now.
it, we would probably gone down the route of, but bearing in mind what Josh has previously said to us about the DPF, and he was dead right on that
Yeah.
last one, we'd be going down the route of taking the DPF off, cleaning it or replacing it, wouldn't we?
Yes.
So that's no different, and we wouldn't be using that turbo on a replacement engine, would we?
No.
So if we could get a turbo from somewhere, we could I mean, it's quite accessible, isn't it?
Chris, you're saying that. We done one of these. That looks accessible. It's a bloody nightmare job. That is not easy, that to do. That took us all day on that Black Discovery Sport. But to be fair, we did only put a cassette in it, didn't we? We just put the turbo cassette in. Yeah. Is it worth trying to get a whole turbo for it? And do we, sorry to interrupt, do we take that one off first and confirm that that is our issue?
I think we've got nothing to lose. We may as well.
Let's get it in the workshop.
Well, we might throw a few quid at it and then...
Worst way, I found an engine for £2.5 grand, but it ain't done half the miles this engine's done. That's really, really made my day. If you can save that engine by replacing a turbo and some other...
And DPF.
Let's get it in the workshop, mate, and make a start on it.
I think we've got nothing to lose, mate.
Let's pull the trigger and get on it.
So straight into it here, and there is a lot to take off, and it is all very, very fiddly. There's little 8mm around the heat shields. You've got the windscreen wipers to get off, the scuttle panel, the bulkhead needs to come out. There's a little tiny cam cover on there you need to get off. Honestly, there is so many little fiddly bits. The fuel filter housing has all got to be removed. There's brackets underneath that go to the cat. All of that has got to come off, and you can see both of us are hard at it.
Do you know, I just popped out when Chris started to do the time lapse just to grab some supplies, and instantly it just all comes flooding back, doesn't it?
Yes.
Because we started taking it apart, and I was like, oh, I remember now. We took the wipers off, we took that rear bulkhead out and left the carpet in, and it just created all of that room. But instantly, as soon as Chris got the covers off, Chris, I won't go in and grab. Could you grab them?
Yeah,
sorry, it's only because I've left the radio on in there. But as soon as he took the heat shields off,
the insides.
Look at the inside of those. And that's not just happened.
No.
That's a blow. So that's been blowing for quite some time. That could be
coming out of that joint.
And this could all tie in with the fact that it could have a blocked DPF, and it's pressurising and trying to blow out of basically anywhere it can.
Yeah, and it's back pressure.
It's back pressure. It's got to escape. So far so good. We're going to remove this here, just create more room. And it was actually, we removed this on the last one as well. It just creates that much more room. But you can see we are right round it now. Chris has just removed the diesel filter housing, and there's a little bracket there that actually holds the cat. So we've got the cat here and the DPF's underneath. So we are just going to continue on. There's not, I know that you're all going to appreciate, I can't just stand here and film Chris. Number one, it will take all day, and number two, you can't really see a great deal, can you? So we'll just continue on until we got that turbo off, I think.
And something to look at, haven't we?
Definitely got something to look at. Let's do it.
So continuing on, even after you think after the last bit of time lapse, you must have most of it off, but there really is lots of little fiddly bits. You got to put your fingers in there. You get plenty of little grazes all the way up your elbows when you're working on one of these tightly compacted little engines in these cars, but we are pretty much getting there with it, and I think we're getting close and ready to pull that turbo out of the car.
How you doing down there, mate?
Yeah, all right, mate, yeah.
Not easy work, is it?
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Honestly, that is like that all the way, and it's about 2.5 inches long, and it is just so tight and rusty. But
what is that, one of the bolts that's holding the cat on?
It is the one that's holding the cat, the bracket. Yeah, it's an absolute nightmare.
None of it's easy work, is it?
Nah, how are you getting on up there?
Yeah, we've got quite a lot out of the way. Still a bolt in the heat shield, but I need the car lowered back down a bit, Rob, so I can get to that.
Right.
Got the oil pipe, the oil drain out the bottom of the oil return, I should say, out the bottom of the turbo. So we're getting there, but yeah, tricky work, isn't it?
And only one casualty landed on the under tray, a 10mm socket.
10mm socket off of a very worn extension bar.
I'll get that out in a minute.
So, but all right, mate.
All right, mate, let's carry on.
We'll carry on.
So a lot of work there, and very, very difficult to get this bolt in particular undone. Someone did previously mention, actually, when we did the Discovery, how do you get that bolt undone? I've tried to do it before, and it is with a short 13mm spanner. And you will actually see that there's little scratches on this manifold, and that's where I've managed to get the 13 on there, and then I can't get my fingers in there. I've had to stick a screwdriver in and actually physically push it until it's freed up. And then this one turned out, the stud came out of the turbo instead of the nut coming off, so I had to wind it all the way out. It then bottomed out, and we had to undo this one. Chris had to hold the turbo up while I got the last couple of little turns on it. But you can clearly see there that the turbo has gone, and it's thrown all of the oil down in the cat there. So that cat is definitely going to want flushing out. Also, the DPF is going to want coming off and flushing out as well. Chris has got the turbo over on the bench, and a couple of things become apparent immediately there. So if I concentrate on that there, mate.
Shall I turn that?
Chris is actually turning the other end there, and nothing's happening. Right. So
do you want to show that?
We've got a snapped shaft.
I don't know if you can see past my finger.
Yeah.
That's complete toast, isn't it,
yeah,
mate?
Completely knackered.
Yeah.
And the fins are all worn away.
Yeah, yeah. Bits gone off the end. They're a lot shorter. That one looks still intact, but so does that one. That one's a lot shorter.
Where it's floating.
And the nut off the end is no longer present, shall we say? But we could split it open there, couldn't we? But
as much as we want to, I'm going to just say there, before we did reuse this, we reuse this, and we literally bought a cassette from a turbo place, and it did work. Yeah. But this time, we are going to go with a new turbo. I've already sourced it, but it is an exchange unit.
Yep.
And if we start undoing this and something breaks,
yeah,
they're not going to take this as an exchange unit. No. I can go and get
There's
the
a
new
surcharge on it, isn't there?
£300.
Yeah. So
and if they don't accept it, that's extra £300 on the turbo. So, well, I guess
we've got to put the actuator back on, because I think the new one comes with that on, doesn't it?
Possibly.
So I'll put it back on there loosely. When you go to the shop, you might have to take it off.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you can head off with that, can't you?
I'll go around there now, shall I? Let's get that swapped out.
Yeah,
We'll make a start on it. But I guess I need to pick up some DPF and cat cleaner
that
first.
That stuff we used before was good, wasn't it?
Do we throw it in there and then bolt all this back together?
I think we'd put some down the cat, but we remove the DPF.
Yeah, good idea.
We know it's not fully blocked because we had a bit of exhaust gas coming through.
We did, didn't we? White smoke.
But yeah, we want to be 100% that is.
I'll go and get some nice cleaner then, and we'll use that same stuff because it was good, wasn't it?
Mitsubishi on there, isn't it?
Is it?
Is that Mitsubishi?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yes.
Jaguar Land Rover.
Yeah.
It's probably on loads of different cars, isn't it? Even just this little bit, even if the turbo's different. Yeah. Right, let's go and get a nice new one. Back sorting out the oil and filter, but it looks like this is absolutely bang on, spot on, the correct one. Apart from when you turn the spline this end, it actually turns the other end, so nothing wrong with that. And Chris was right, it does come with that. So we'll have to pop our original one back, but I guess let's get back to the yard and start the process of getting this one fitted back on the car. Fingers crossed, it ain't gonna need a lot more. And continuing on there, pouring that whole bottle of DPF, off-car DPF cleaner. So it's not the actual in-car one, but because we've removed the turbo and exposed it, of course we can pour it in and then obviously let it out of the other end once it's made its way through and cleared up any of the problems, the blockages and the clogs that are actually in there that could have caused this turbo to fail. So it could be a damaged DPF or a blocked DPF. We poured in there a whole 5 litres, a whole gallon of DPF cleaner and cat cleaner. And you would have seen me with a rag as well. I've cleaned all that up. And what we're hoping that's going to do is actually, it'll go through the cat. Then it's going into the DPF.
Fill the DPF up.
Fill the DPF right up. And we're going to leave it all night. As you can see, it's pretty jacked up there now on the front. It can only run one way, can't it? Yeah. And then I guess in the morning we will get that, undo that and release what is in there.
If we undo the back of the exhaust and dangle it down, hopefully we can, and we've avoided having to take it off, because that's what we was planning on doing, wasn't it? Taking the DPF, but then when I got underneath it and see world of pain
behind the subframe,
so we're going to go through it this way. We know it's not fully blocked because when we run it up
earlier, it's producing smoke.
We got smoke coming through
Yeah.
it, didn't we? So it's not completely blocked, is it? Which, yeah.
I guess that's all we can do, isn't it?
That's all we can do, isn't it?
So underneath, I did first just try to remove a sensor to actually get the fluid out, but nothing was coming out. It was too high up. So what we actually decided to do was split the rear half of the exhaust from the DPF. Chris went round the back, you'll see in a minute, and he was pulling it. I gave it a little tap with a hammer, it separated, and then it filled the tray up instantly, and you can see, poured it into the bottle there.
Before we start, where I've been laying down under there, I'm a little bit dizzy. Can you just explain what we just did there?
Well, we put the leaf blower on there.
Always.
We disconnected the exhaust.
It's not the first time we've used that, is it?
From the centre section. Kind of proves, doesn't it,
Yeah.
that we've got airflow,
Yeah.
and they can't be blocked. And so far we have got, what's there, nearly 3 litres there, Rob?
Yeah, well, it only goes up to here, so probably 3.5 litres
Yeah,
in the
there's,
can.
there's probably a litre or so in the other drain tray.
Yeah.
We've just swapped over. So there's a little bit left in the system. So I think we'll have to leave that to work its way through. But unfortunately, with the car jacked up, we can't work on the top anymore,
No,
can
it's
we?
too high.
So I think we'll have to call it there.
Yeah.
We got a couple of other things to get on with today, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
We let that soak, let that drain out,
Yeah.
and then we put the exhaust back together, let it down, and get on with it.
Get
so
on with the
I think
turbo.
we'll have to.
I did just want to mention, just before we do finish, that there, that was on the last one we bought. That was rattling around.
Heat
Do you
shield.
remember the heat shield?
Yeah.
You ended up welding it up.
Yeah.
As soon as I got under there,
And touched
I
it.
touched it. It's actually fallen down, and 3 of the 4 mounting points are actually snapped. So you're going to have to get under there and tap that
Yeah.
up with a welder as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
But I think even though it's a shame to leave it there, I really do feel like we've got quite a lot done in this video, and in the next one we can continue on and get this one put back together. So unfortunately, guys, that is going to be the end of today's video and the end of the first video on the little Range Rover Evoque. If you did enjoy this video, we'd appreciate that thumbs up. Put your comments and your thoughts in the comment section down below. And of course, if you want to follow us on any of our other socials, the links for all of them are in the description down below. Don't forget, like, subscribe and share, and we'll see you very, very soon
We will do.
in the next one. I've been married 15 years now, but I've never ever let my missus look in the safe. And the other day I was at work, I got home, she said, I looked in the safe today, there's £2,000 cash and there's 3 eggs in there. I said, I told you never to look in the safe. She said, what's the eggs all about? I said, well, every time I've ever cheated on you, I've put an egg in the safe. She said, 15 years, 3 eggs, that's not too bad. I said, yeah, when I get to a dozen, I'll sell them, that's where the money come from.